Hello, lovely people. I'm Shaq, and welcome. I have two cats here. We're going to make, and the pattern will be free on my website. This one, the larger one, is about the same size as Elowen's cat, Sybil. And then, of course, we have the Barbie-sized one. They both have the options of the paws and the tail if you want to apply them, or you can just draw them on with a permanent marker or something, or Posca pins. Anyway, let's turn around the camera. Before we get started, I wanted to share a couple of updates. First of all, I got the shirt done to go with the pants, and I really like how this turned out. Both of the items are designs by Jude, patterns that have been drastically altered. Like the shirt is a gray shirt, so of course the size had to be changed, as well as adding this to it, just the whole opening, everything. I just kind of used it more like guidelines for the sleeves, because the top is 1970s-esque top that has no the bottom half. It's a short shirt. And the pants, if you've ever made Grace's pants for Elowen, you know that they're way too long and have some other fitting issues. So I took a pair of Elowen's pants and then the features off of the Grace pants and just traced out what I wanted to create a new pattern to be able to do this outfit like this. And I also got a cover made for my paper doll book. And I don't know if you can read it, but it says "and" too over here. So in addition to having, and I reorganized the Elowen because they were just kind of in here randomly. They've got more of an order to them now. And then I got to the Grace ones, so that's all in here. And then we have Grace into Anne, and all of Anne's up to the current. I'm obviously going to need some more pages as we go along to add to this, but this was a lot of fun. Now I've got them where I can enjoy seeing them here. They were on my computer where, obviously I could open up the files and look at them, but you're opening up files on a computer and it's just not the same. This is a lot more fun for me. So encourage you to do something similar with your collectible paper dolls or other print work. Like this would be a great collector cards of any kind, vintage, the salesman cards type stuff, any of it. This is just a fun way to enjoy your paper products. And here is the pattern. This is going to be a free pattern in the store. Couple things to note here is there's not going to be any instructions. This video is it. There is a stitch line marked on the ears just to help you keep it upright so that you don't install the ear upside down. Although the world would not end if you did. It would just be a different shaped ear. And then this is just to help you with lining up with the seams. And I think, yeah, this is the more Barbie scale, Cindy scale, and then this one is the Elowen and Grace scale. So I've gotten this cut out. And the first thing you're going to want to do is the darts for the ears. And obviously, if you don't want to put your ears in the seams, let's see, we'll spread this out so you can see what I got going on here. There's a tail, there's the base, and we've got the ears. Get them right side up, right? And those are little paws. These are totally optional. You could draw it on instead of sewing it on. It's not, you know, they're not necessary. I just thought they would be a fun option. But you're going to make sure, so this longer flat side is what goes in the dart. It's the one with the little blue line on the pattern piece. And you're going to want to put the straight edge here, not the long curved edge, towards the top of the head. So you're going to line this up in the dart, sandwich it in there, and then whip stitch it from what will be the inside of the cat's head. So I'm going to go do that. I completely forgot to mention that I am using 100% wool felt. Obviously, anything that doesn't fray can be used. And I have gone ahead and done the other ear, and just be sure that you have a right and a left so that you don't want two of them going the same direction. Next, you're going to take the head gusset, and one end has a little bit whiter appearance to it than the other. I don't know if you can see it. If you can't tell the difference, it doesn't really matter. This one end, when it's on the paper, looks whiter. The top side here looks whiter to me, and that is the nose direction, and this is the back of the head, the narrower side. But if you get it reversed, again, no big deal. It'll just be a little bit different. So I'm going to line this up, and the rest of this construction is going to happen with the cat right side out, I guess. It would be a best way to describe that. So you're going to want the to make sure that your knot is on the inside of the cat, not on the outside. So I start by stitching on the inside, which is now established by the stitching for holding the ear in, so that my knot is on the inside, not the outside. Hopefully I haven't confused you by saying that wrong. And then I'm trying to make sure that it stays to the inside, because sometimes you sandwich it and it pokes it out instead of in. Yeah, my coordination is backwards here, so if it feels backwards to you, the way that you get started, just switch. And then we're just going to sew this around until we get to the end here. Once you've got your head gusset stitched in place, this is what it looks like on the one side, and it doesn't matter which side you attach it to first. Then you're going to just line up the other side of your cat. Kind of just make sure this is even here at the back, and that your dip there at the base of the neck is where it needs to be, and then the front. Sometimes in the process of stitching it in, you will have given it just a tiny bit of stretch. And so you just kind of want to make sure that you've got this where it needs to be and this where it needs to be. The back of the head and the front of the face, where you can see that you're lined up, and then you'll ease it in. If it's stretched at all, you'll ease it into the space it's supposed to be in. And I am going to start back at the back of the cat and stitch around the top edge, leaving this bottom straight edge open. Okay, now that we've got that edge stitched all the way around to here, I've knotted it, but I've left the thread attached just for convenience, because it is long enough to do the bottom, or at least half the bottom, because that's what we're doing next. We're going to lay this in here, and those two dots, the red dots on the pattern pieces that represent that halfway, that's what you want to attach to your seams, so that you get it this oriented correctly. Ow. Try not to stab yourself. Okay, so You can reassess whether or not you've got it in the right place by folding it in half. Just, okay, so I've got pins now to show me where that is. Wow, that doesn't look halfway. That's halfway. Go around, our edges are even. It is a little off. That looks better. Okay. Then you will line it up, one with the back seam and one with the under the chin seam. You don't have to pin it in place. I just find it's easier to just put those two in here. The front one, since that's where my thread is already anchored, I won't bother with pinning it. I'll just start stitching. Stitch right next to it. I think I'm about to do that thing where I'm going in the wrong way, but who knows. Just reverse it if it is. Take the pin out. Then all I'm going to do is stitch that halfway over here to this other pin, and leave the other side open for stuffing. Now we're ready to stuff our cat. So I kind of pushed the features out and then start adding stuffing. You might want to have a tool to help you with this. Apparently I did not bring mine over here, so we're going to just proceed without it. But you'll want to get the cat all nice and firm and filled out. If you want the bottom of the cat to sit totally flat, you'll want to put a piece of card in there, like from your cereal box or your cracker box, so that it doesn't have this rounded bulge that mine has. It does tend to rock a little bit if you don't do that. You don't put the piece of card in there. I'm disinclined to do that and just let them rock, but rocking cats. But anyway, you get the stuffing in there until it's firm, and then stitch up the other side. Once you've got it closed up, that's when I apply the paws if I'm going to put them, and I just tuck them right up here like the cat's got their legs folded up underneath them. And I just whip stitch around that to put that in place. And the tail, I line the slanted edge up with the back seam and then gently curve it around, stitching it in place like it's tucked up against the body. Again, just kind of whip stitching around the edge. If you want to embroider this, you might want to do that before you put it together, or leave this partially open so that you can hide your knots and everything easier. The other thing that I like to do with these guys is decorate them with either a black pin, which is like a permanent marker, or this one is by Sakura Pigma, and it's a very fine tipped marker. And I use it to create a little bit of shadow in here in the ear. And I've used it to put noses on. So I'll come down here right where the end of the gusset is and put a line across, and then just kind of fill in with a nose shape that's kind of an inverted triangle. Not exactly, but kind of. And then can stitch on, not stitch, draw the line continuing down and put on a little mouth. And most of the ones I have been doing, I have given the cat kind of a frown. This time, we're just going to be more neutral. I might add a kind of a quirky smile, because I think I am going to try and decorate this one like the Cheshire Cat. And I haven't decided whether I want them awake or asleep. but if you're doing a sleep, oops, it's a line across here, and this one I gave a couple of eyelashes to. And I don't know if you can tell, but the eyes don't match, and it still looks like you got a sleeping cat who might have a little bit of a wink going on, or and also I didn't apply the little arms here. I just used them as kind of a guide to draw that on with the same marker, and the same with the tail. So you have options there. And you could also use Posca pens or something similar to get some color in there if you wanted some different colored details. This is how I'm going to do the stripes on the cat, is I'm going to give it some lavender stripes on here. I was experimenting to make sure that it would show up. And this is like 3 coats of the Posca pens in order to get the lavender to show up. The purple ended up not looking like purple on the orange, so I didn't like that. It looks kind of muddy. But just get yourself a scrap and experiment if you want to use something like the Posca pens. Also, I'm allergic to cats, so my dolls are the only ones who have cats. But I was just thinking that, you know, maybe I should make a felt dog or something. But let me know what you think. And let's take our little cat over and put it on the cat hammock. The ladies are having book club, sharing from their favorite books here. So let's go over and put the cat on the cat hammock. There we go. We have a sleeping cat on our cat hammock in front of the window. I want to thank Dwight for his suggestion of the cat hammock, which led to the making of the sleeping cat pattern. And do let me know if you want a dog pattern. I've been using little plastic dogs like this Chihuahua, which is very reminiscent of my Chihuahua that I currently have. Needs spots though to match him exactly. The link to the pattern, the free pattern, will be in the description box, along with a link to the supplier. It's a small business in Idaho that I use to get my wool felt and stuffing, and any other things that you might need to navigate to for my socials. And I hope that you enjoyed this and that you have a delightful day and a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.